Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Tuesday night chat. Got a great panel here, and we're gonna get going. Sorry, I could have started a few minutes ago, but anyway, I'm gonna let everybody do an intro, and then I'll let Rosie, if there's anything on her mind, to start her night off, and we'll go from there. And I'll start with the Crazy Scotsman. Would you like to do an intro?
Well, appreciate you having me on as always. It's an absolute pleasure. For those of you that don't know, I did actually have the pleasure of meeting TR at Foamageddon, shaking his hand, and absolute pleasure. Great guy, straight up just as he is on here. So for anyone out there that thinks YouTube is full of bullshit, you're all wrong. We're all the same as we are right here. But it was an absolute pleasure. I had a great freaking time. Great family, great people, and just as always, appreciate you having me on, man.
Absolutely. It's great meeting you and some other people. Bald Curious is out there. He's a trip. He's a lot of fun hanging around with. But yeah, everybody I've met from YouTube is the same person they are on their videos, maybe less pressure and a little more comfortable, because sometimes cameras make people a little stage fright. But anyway, Blue, would you like to do an intro?
What you said is not entirely accurate. Not everybody you meet is what you see on YouTube. There is always that one son of a bitch, which that's all I'm going to say about that. However, thanks for the invite. Good to see everybody out there in the external, Rosie, Scotsman, TR. And I know this is going to be the last chat that I'm on until the Thanksgiving break. So happy Turkey Day whenever that comes up to everybody out there, and ready to see what we got going on tonight. So let's roll.
Okay, and last but not least, Rosie, would you like to do an intro?
I'm still in awe that Scott's met the great one there. I mean, I'm just kind of taking that. Shook his hand too. It's an awesome thing. Hey, everybody, I echo what Blue said. I hope everybody has, this will be our last chat for before Thanksgiving. I hope everybody has a great chat. And yeah, I do have a few things to talk about this evening, and a little bit of show and tell. Do I have a couple of things to present tonight? As many of you no doubt know, Janet Yellen has, rather than wait to be formally, I mean, obviously she's being replaced as the chairwoman of the Federal Reserve, but she's not going to stick around on the board, so she will be retiring now. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the board shapes up here, at least for me, because it's a board more of Trump's making, and I think it'll probably be even more business. I mean, how could you be any more business friendly than the Fed has been the last 8-9 years, right? With quantitative easings 1, 2, 3, and it's still ongoing to the tune of something like $100 billion a month or something like that. So it's going to be interesting to see what changes come as a result of that. The other thing I want to say is, next thing I want to talk about is the yield curve. And you'll hear economists and stock market analysts talk about something called the yield curve. And it really is the shape of interest rates. If you were to plot a little point for a 30-day, 60-day, 90-day, 1 year, 2 year, 5 year, 10 year, 15 year, 20 year, 30-year note, if you were to do a little point and then connect it at each of those interest rate levels, you would have a shape. And usually the longer term you lend, the more interest you get, because your risk is greater. If you're lending somebody money for 30 years on a mortgage, you need a higher interest rate than it's going to be repaid in 30 or 60 days. And what we have now is a very, very flat yield curve, and that's symptomatic that things aren't as lively underneath the surface as the economy as the statistics would indicate. We're in a bubble. I don't think that's any, we've been talking about a bubble building, a bubble building, a bubble building in the investment markets. And you've had, if you look at stocks like Netflix and you look at their stock charts, they're almost like straight up. And, they're not the type of trajectory that can sustain itself over the long run. And I think it's interesting. I think last week I talked about General Electric and how General Electric, one of the original Dow Jones, not original, but around since 1915, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average, that's real America there. That's real power. That's real power. Aerospace, medical, and they are just absolutely struggling. They've made some bad decisions for sure. But it's kind of strange that if you look at the way the Dow Jones Industrial Average has changed, the components that have been in that, so many of them of the American heartland have now gone by the wayside and been replaced by, you know, the Home Depots, the Walmarts, you know, retailers and things. Instead of having, instead of having a good old manufacturing as the hardcore base of the industrial average, we have, you know, American Express is a Dow component. We have Citibank, and it's, you know, they really don't produce anything. And I think our nation is kind of being whittled away on production and stuff. I did bring so I just want to say beware about the market, because we cannot sustain this trajectory that we're on. And for anybody that's invested in long term, it's you would really have to think twice not to really take at least half of your money off the table at this point with this crazy rally that we've had. And I'll show you a couple of charts here that may explain that a little bit. Let me see if I can put this on present without. Am I able to present stuff? Yeah. Let me see here. Let's see what we got. Yeah, the first
you just have to go. You have to go to screen share, and then TR clicks on your picture so that we just see you.
Yeah, I think. Am I sharing that now? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. If this has just been published, and I hope you all can see that on the outside. This is some real statistics about the economy. Here are some of the charts, and the first one I want to show you is commercial and industrial lending by all commercial banks, and the chart really begins in September of 2014, and it goes through October of 2017. And you can see the trend, the rate of acceleration back in 2014, September. Loan growth was chugging along at between 10 and 12.5% growth rate. And now we're down here at barely a 2% growth rate, in the recent couple months or so. That to me is a very telling statistic that the borrowing isn't really taking place. Now you might say, well, it's because of a strong market, so companies can sell additional equity, which they can, but bank lending should always sort of track economic growth. The second one here is the bank credits of all commercial banks. In other words, all of the credits that they're sitting on, the loans outstanding, and the growth rate of the growth in their credits has now been reduced from about an 8% rate in 2016. It's chugging along at just over a 3% rate. So there's definitely some contraction taking place within the economy. Here's real estate loans from all commercial banks. You can see that peaked at about a 7.5% growth rate in November of 2016, and we're about just under 4% now. So I think you can see what I'm showing you here: the reducing growth, and it wouldn't take too much of imagination to think when we might go negative. We also have consumer loans here, credit cards, and other revolving debt, and we see the rate of growth of that back in July of 2016. At the beginning of this was at about 8.5%, and now we're down at about a 4.5%. We basically cut that growth rate in half. And this is the basic money stock of the country. And this is a very important thing, M2 here. You have M1, which is very liquid deposit. M2 is more all the aggregated deposits and credits in the system. And you can see the rate of growth of our money supply has been slowing down. It's still growing, but at a very slow pace. And I'm kind of wondering if maybe this is why Janet Yellen is looking at bailing now, because she kind of sees what might be coming here. And it's very hard to reverse this flow here. Let's see, the market value of debt, that's not so important. But the thing that really alarms me down here is margin debt. And if you don't know, margin debt, and that's what this chart is, you can actually borrow money to purchase stocks. And you can see through time, the blue line is the S&P 500 from 1995 to the current time, over that period of time. And you'll see that the margin debt, which is the rise in borrowed money to buy stocks, rises and falls with the market here. In other words, people get very bullish and they peak their borrowing at the worst time, just before the market slides off. And, you know, we have to beware up here, because we have almost $700 billion, you know, getting close to $1 trillion of borrowed money that's sitting in stocks. And this is the kind of thing that triggered the big panic in 1929, when stocks started to fall and the margin didn't cover the you know, you had to always maintain 50% of the value. At that time, you only had to maintain 10% of the value. In other words, if you had $100 worth of, you could put $10 down and control $100 worth of U.S. Steel stock, but you couldn't let your $10 margin go below, say, $5, or they would ask you to put in more money. Well, it created a collapsing pyramid, if you will, a structure that just collapsed, because the more stocks dropped, the more the margin went out, the more people were forced to liquidate, and we had a very terrible plunge as a result of that. So this is why I would be less than, you know, doing a fiduciary duty if I just didn't encourage people to think about, if you do have things in the market, we're at very inflated levels. We're tacking on these daily gains that have almost been unseen since the 1920s. We have a terrific number of stocks that are priced above $100, $200, $300 a share. The last time that happened was in the late 1920s, because values are moving so fast that they can't even split the stock, say 2 for 1, 3 for 1, in a timely fashion. So I just wanted to share that with you guys today, and just encourage you, if you are invested, take a look at the long-term Dow Jones Industrial Average chart, and just look at this tremendous uprun that we've had. Trees don't grow to the sky. And I think for my money, I'm basically virtually all out, except a couple things like Camping World and a few other speculations. But I'm just telling you, I would be less than, you know, doing what I thought I should do on here if I just didn't encourage people to be very careful with your futures and your portfolios. There's been such tremendous gains from the election. Those things don't happen year in and year out. So sometimes it's better to walk away with 3/4 of a pie than nothing. So that's about all I have, TR, for that. So
I got a question.
mm-hmm.
I actually was paying attention. All right. So whenever we have the growth in the stock market that we've had over the last, I'm only going to say 3 to 4 months, because that seems to be where it's been the larger gains, at least from what I've been seeing. You're still at the point where, yes, it's closing good, everything's up, but watch your ass so you don't lose, like, you know, sell out, or you still think there's going to be this drop?
Yeah.
Once like the Christmas season's over.
Yeah, because I just, in history, markets never sustain these sort of trajectories. It's like if you take a bullet and fire it up in the air, the first thing that happens is the rate of climb starts to slow. And we're already seeing the rate of climb slowing in things like bank lending and real estate lending and some industrial companies are still having money issues with markets. There's still the China competition. There's the low oil prices that still remain at the $55 per barrel level. There's a lot of stresses in the world economy right now that are being sort of papered over by rapidly climbing assets in the equities, and stock markets and things like that. So I'm just saying, yes, this is the time that, one of the hardest things to do is step aside. You've seen by the growth in margin debt, that chart, that most people come in at the wrong time and put the greatest amount of money to work, and then, they sell at the worst time. So yeah, this is what I'm saying. This is one of these defining moments in time. I'm not saying the bubble's going to burst tomorrow. I'm not saying it's going to burst next month, but values are just getting too stretched in here.
All right, makes sense.
This is a fake electric fire.
Yeah, I didn't notice that last time, actually.
Yeah, I don't think many people are looking to the back here.
Well, we're all used to seeing the radio equipment.
Yeah. Well, I'll make you happy here, Scott. There's a little peek for you there.
I think you'll make Alan happy.
Yeah. I just did just putting up a video. Just finished a rebuild, but I can't come on here and not have a firm opinion sometimes. I think that's a ridiculous thing to do, is to not be realistic. We have intergenerational problems of Generation Y, Generation X that don't have the assets, don't have the ability to carry and purchase stocks at these levels going forward. So there's going to come a day where there's not going to be somebody to sell to that's willing to take it at that price, and then it's Katie bar the door. So,
well, back in 2007, 2008, I mean, there were people, this had a 401k for years or whatever, and I'm just talking, just your average production worker, I ain't talking executives, nothing like that, and they lost $30,000-$40,000 of their 401k, damn near overnight. That's a big hit for somebody that's just your average worker or whatever. I mean, you got to be careful. The people I've talked to at work don't even realize your 401k is playing the stock market. They have no idea. They don't know what. They just think, oh yeah, it's just like you think it's like a pension or something. It's like, no, they're gambling with your money. You may lose.
Well, you just have to look at one of the themes we've hit here for years, TR, all the way back in 2015, was the changing real estate landscape. And even back then, people poo-pooed when I discussed the problems coming from Macy's and a lot of the retailers that would probably break down to just two major ones, Walmart and Amazon, and that's exactly the way it's starting to play out. It's a very competitive landscape on here. There's a lot of money tied up in retail assets that are really diminishing in value now, and that's a real bedrock. You have a rise of robotics. I remember early on, TR, in 2015, there was some guy that came on, I can't remember his name, that talked about robotics and how that was going to change the landscape of, and create problems for, because robot always shows up for work, and it's, it's going to be dependable. It's going to be handing your burgers out the drive-through window and all kinds of things. I mean, you can't tell me the companies like McDonald's and Popeyes, they're not working feverishly to develop automated systems to heighten their efficiency. And I don't know if people are educated enough to go into the next, what would I say, climb the next evolutionary ladder of a high-tech world, and without that skill set. So Linda says, Rosie, that's one thing I'm trying to find public companies, the agricultural robotics business, no public companies so far as I can see. what's going to usually happen in robotics is a major company usually takes, like Intel. If you buy Intel, you're buying the brains of the robot. So that's the basic, my thought. You don't have to buy the robot, but you can buy the brain of it, things like that. But yeah, I just say, don't understand in the context of history. We're one of these incredibly stretched. It's like a rubber band being stretched out so far. Yeah, it could stretch a little more, but you know what's going to happen? Eventually, it's going to snap and it's going to sting you on the downside there. So just be aware.
Yeah, I'm seeing some headlines, reading some stories. It's like you say. I mean, it this can't keep climbing forever. There's going to be a not necessarily. Well, I've seen some articles that talk about a global reset, and I ain't saying they're calling for the apocalypse, but there's going to be another crash, a severe downfall, no doubt.
Yeah, let's talk about one more phenomenon that occurs too. We're TR, you know, we're making record highs every day. You'll hear, you know, the Dow closed at a new record high, blah, blah, blah. But who in the fuck really cares in America? It's not like 50 years ago where that news would stimulate people to maybe call their broker, buy some stock. There's not many people that directly play the stock market right now. Most of their investment is, like TR said, through company stock or, you know, a profit sharing plan or a 401k plan. So you have multiple generations, probably 2 generations here that have no experience with equity markets at all. And my biggest fear is that we build a mega bubble like we had in real estate, that all of a sudden the gain gets so big in 1 week that all of a sudden it crosses over into the public imagination. And somebody says to somebody else, man, I'm getting rich as shit in the market. What are you doing? You know, and all of a sudden that fire spreads like in 1928 and 1929. And people start getting involved in a very major way. Now, the problem with that is they're not involved when the values are good. They're involved when shit's so overpriced that they're going to get stuck with it. And, you know, when it goes down, they're going to take the hit on that. So this could happen, because one of the things that really pops bubbles is rising interest rates. And we really don't have that pin yet to really prick this bubble. So there is a potential it could swirl in a lot of the public. We just haven't crossed that threshold yet. But if you get a couple of really super spectacular days happen here, then you'll fire, you know, and it starts to make the evening news on the first or second news item. Mom and pop will want to know what the hell is going on for sure. So we have to be aware of that possible phenomena occurring too. And that's the one where people are beating down the doors to the brokerage houses to get in there and open accounts and stuff. So I went through that in Hong Kong. I saw that.
Okay. All right. Well, I think we covered that pretty good.
Yep.
Just be careful out there, as I like to say.
Careful. You know, I love you guys. I don't want to see you get reamed on that.
Mm-hmm.
Had good. You open those 401k statements on the quarter and just think how unusual it is when you see it, and how likely are you to see it again quarter after quarter.
Yeah. All right.
All right, I'll be right back. I'm going to get a cup of coffee.
Okay. Anything else on you guys' radar?
I was just going to tell Rosie to hurry up and put something in her coffee, to some type of alcohol.
Yeah, thank you, Blue. See, Blue always looks out for me.
I'm looking out for you. I mean, you know, you need that caffeine picker upper, but the alcohol helps.
Yeah, the alcohol always helps. It gives it that extra kick. You always got to have the extra boost.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with the haters out there. Oh well.
Yeah, it is what it is, man.
That just means I know at least 40 people's checked this out because I got 20 thumbs up and 20 thumbs down.
Yeah. Well, you know what? At least they viewed it. So fuck them. If they want a thumbs it down, they want a thumbs it down.
Thanks for watching.
That's it. Thanks for showing up. Peace out. Deuces. Fuck y'all.
It's all good. Ain't like I'm making a living off this shit anyway.
Oh, you're living in a mansion somewhere, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're like gross one point.
No, that's his old lady that lives in the mansion.
She does have a nice place. And I ain't gonna talk about all that. Y'all don't want to hear all that boring shit.
Oh, are you allowed to discuss what happened with the item left behind?
Did I tell you what? A gun?
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta go get it tomorrow.
No, I didn't know if it was still covered or not.
Now, she did put it in a closet.
Oh,
She's like, it scares me. I was like, it ain't. I said, you could throw it up against a wall. It ain't gonna go off. So I didn't mean to leave it, but
oh, there it is. Don't you talk about me, God damn it.
yeah, she heard texting. She heard me. Her ears were burning.
What did you leave?
A 1911.
Gotcha. And you had it cocked and locked?
Yep. Just in a holster, but still.
He's just looking out for her safety.
No, and there's nothing wrong with that. And like you said, fuck, you can throw it against the bloody wall. The thing ain't going to go off.
Metham says she sent TR a nude in the chat.
There's a very good chance of that, Metham. Very good chance.
Yeah.
And we're going to cut this one short, guys. Appreciate everyone showing up.
Got some business to take care of. Yeah, I got to get her into shooting. She don't hate guns or anything like that. She shot a gun before. I think she says she's been skeet shooting, so it's not like she's terrified of them. She's just not, she's just not. To her, they're kind of scary, No big deal. But she's not scared. Oh, hell, I'm over at the house. I just flop it down on the damn coffee table, It's just not like she's anti-gun or liberal as hell or nothing like that. She's just like, she's okay with it. She's not a shooter. But I'm gonna turn that around. I gotta convince her to. I'm gonna build her up. We're gonna do some shooting. She'll be okay. If she needs a gun up there, there's bears and shit, if nothing else. I ain't worried about robbers, but
yeah, like you said, man, just build it up a little bit at a time. Just build it up.
And nothing else. At least have her build up to where she'll at least keep maybe a 20 gauge shotgun or something at the house.
Yeah, so either a 20 gauge shotgun or maybe have something like a Taurus Judge or Smith & Wesson, where she can shoot the 410 shot shells and all that good stuff.
I forgot I must have talked about that during the chat the other day. Yeah. She's getting a well today, or they started today, so that's pretty cool. She's getting her own well. They was on a community well, so she wanted her own well. That's good. Anyway.
Yeah, that'll make it a hell of a lot easier.
Mm-hmm. Gotta watch what you say on these things.
Oh yeah, you gotta watch, man. It don't take much. These guys catch up quick.
They're on it.
I mean,
well, and I know because if I'm watching a chat like I was watching your chat last night, I was out there. I was poking. What about this? What about that?
Well, I mean, if you want to poke, you need to poke at Alan. I mean, Alan got this fancy new mic, and some wonderful YouTuber out there was nice enough to help him out.
We got a secret admirer out there.
He does. I don't think it's too much of a big secret though, but
I can't say much because I've sent Blue shit before, so I can't.
He's just ashamed of all of it. That's all.
Yeah, TR was kind of pissed whenever I don't know what happened, but my laptop mic just quit working. I think I was actually in the middle of one of his chats, and all of a sudden I'm sitting here, blah, blah, I'm talking a mile a minute, and nothing was coming across. And then he, internals me. I'm like, I went through it and did a system diagnostic, and basically whatever the stupid ass microphone in this thing fried. And I think that same night, something may have been put in the mail.
Well, I think it might have been the next week or something, or you told me it's like, well, I until I get a mic, I'm not gonna be able to do the chats, and I was like, okay, fuck it, I'll fix that.
Yeah, I mean, I did the same thing for Scab Ugly. He freaking was having issues with his left, right, and center. He was having issues and kept freezing up and all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, dude, fuck it. Here's a fucking mic.
Well, yours sounds good, but anybody out there that's thinking about doing chats or does chats, me personally, I think these are the ticket.
And that's exactly what I have.
Yep, little snowball.
I got the white, the blue ice, the white one, and I got the whole mic setup thing up here with the shield and all that good stuff. But
these are really good. They noise canceling, and the only reason mine's orange and that's what I sent Blue to is because that one was a couple of dollars cheaper because I didn't give a damn what color it was. It could be pink with purple polka dots on it, and I wouldn't give a damn.
Yeah, the only reason I bought the white ones because with everything that I got it for, I got like $20 additional off just because I bought like an entire package.
Oh, so, yeah.
But it works good.
Yeah, they're great mics.
Yeah, and that's like right now, I mean, literally my computer speakers are sitting underneath like where the snowball thing is, and there's zero echo. There's so many, not so many, I think there's like 4 settings or something on the back where just the microphone up front picks up, or you can have like surround sound. I mean, I could really screw everybody up and turn that bitch on, but
is it called a snowball? I mean, what is it? Why didn't somebody put a link in it? What the hell it is?
Yeah, Blue is the company.
Okay,
that's the company name, and I think they just call it a snowball.
Yeah, it's a snowball. Like if you get the white one, it's a snowball ice. I'm not sure what they call it, the orange one, but like the white one is a snowball ice.
Scott, is that a USB plug-in on that?
Yep. Yeah, this is a straight USB plug-in. Yep. Real easy, real simple.
Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah, you literally,
it's a USB like you'd have for a printer.
Right.
You know, the more square one goes in this, and then the flat one goes into your computer or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, because you guys always sound real good. So yeah. Okay.
They're in the $50 range, somewhere in there.
Yeah, they run about $50 if you get like a mount, and then you get the shield, so it's kind of helps with the noise canceling part of it. You're about another $30.
Not bad.
Yeah, I like it. It is a lot easier. It's bigger because all them dickheads. I mean, the people that watch my chat make fun of my damn headphones for so long.
Yeah. I got just the all-in-one, the Logitech that kind of has the microphones on the side of the thing, so it's not real good. So
yeah, well, you don't have an echo, so that's good.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Yeah, and right now on Amazon, the blue snowball ice is going for $50, and then I'm sure Black Friday or what? Actually, did Amazon start their deals yet? Because usually,
they've already started their deals. I've already been getting emails left, right, and center.
B&H Photo. Everybody's on their way right now. So
yeah, I'm getting like 20, 30 emails every 5 minutes, dude, from companies left, right, and center. You know, Black Friday pre-specials, blah blah blah.
But yeah, with these mics, I mean, it's literally, if you're worried about setup, you plug it into your laptop, you go to whatever your default microphone is, click that, boom, you're done. I mean, there is no setup whatsoever, no software, nothing.
that's good.
Yeah. Just in case, since more and more people are doing chats and joining chats, it's a worthwhile investment if you're going to seriously do these for a little. I mean, I don't care what kind of chat it is, but if you're going to do them, it's a good mic. It really is. So
Yeah, I mean, the only reason I jumped in and bought mine was because like Rich kept inviting me every other week, and then I started jumping on your stuff. It's like, all right, if I'm gonna keep doing this stuff, I got to try and get this something just a little bit better and try to make things work a little bit better. And so I just put the money in it and said, screw it.
yeah.
And
Well, with the thousands we're making off YouTube every month, I mean, $50, what the fuck, you know?
oh man, it's already paid for that and my phone bill for the next 5 years. I'm good, dude.
You got to spend money to make money.
Now, every penny I've invested into YouTube has been worthwhile to me. I mean, it hadn't paid off monetary wise, but it's made for a really good experience. I really love these chats, and that's why I do them. So
imagine how many DUIs it's all saved us from.
no shit.
Well, personally, I can say that it's probably saved me. Let's see, how many chats have I been on? Hold on, let me think for a minute. Give me a second here. Thinking. I don't have enough digits between my toes and my hands to count, but that's quite a lot of DUIs that I avoided. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Well, before I got in, I know we're not on any topic. This whatever it don't matter. We went from intense finances to talking about YouTube. Anyway, and this is no secret. I went from partying every weekend, you know, strip clubs, bars, all that.
Yeah,
to once I got into YouTube, I was getting burnt out on that anyway, and then now this is my bar. I drink a few beers, talk with you guys and gals, and I have a good time, and I'm good. You know, strip club was kind of enjoyable. Don't get me wrong, but that's like extreme window shopping. You can fork over hundreds of dollars, and you still window shopping. That don't pay off at all. Cheers.
Cheers, baby. I'll take a champagne split.
Yeah, true, Bald. He got called maturing. I kind of did a little second childhood there for a few years. I went buck wild for a while. It was fun, though. But it still got old after a while. I think I told the story. After I stopped going out every weekend, I went out every weekend. After a month or two, I was almost panicked looking at my bills and my bank account and stuff because I was like, I got too much money in my bank account. What did I pay my mortgage? Did I pay my power bill? Where's this money? What did I forget to pay? Because I got too much damn money.
But the worst experience I ever had was, you know, back in the day, my first marriage. It was my weekends was Monday and Tuesday. Those were my days off. Or actually, it was back there. It was Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So Sunday night we did a karaoke bar. Monday night we didn't do anything, and then Tuesday night we did karaoke. Horrible. Fucking between two people, somehow we would end up spending $150 to $180 a night. I'm like, how the fuck are we doing this? Well, long story short, quit doing that. Got divorced. Everything stopped. and then decided, I don't know, it's been about 2 years ago, to go back to the bar that we used to frequent years ago. The same people are sitting in the same goddamn bar seats. The same girls are crying. The same dramas. I was like, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 minutes, however long it took me to finish 2 beers. And I was like, nope, I'm not missing this shit, and got the fuck out of Dodge.
Yeah. Yeah, it gets old after a while. It does. I mean, it's fun at the time, but
it was definitely fun.
Yeah.
But once you leave and go back, and those same people are there doing the same shit, it's like, wow. And I'm talking 8 to 10 years. 8 to 10 years later, I went back, and the same people were there. And like whenever I walked in, it was like I didn't miss a fucking day. Everybody's like, "Hey, what's going on?" I'm like, "What the fuck?"
You're like you're being back at Cheers.
Well, I mean, hell, like when I was back home, man, the bar was about 10 minutes from my work. And I kid you not, before they knew exactly when I got off work, before I even made it into the bar, there was a pint of beer sitting on the counter waiting for me.
There you go.
Now, you talk about Cheers, that's fucking Cheers right there. The minute you can even walk in the bar, you don't even open the door, and your pint's sitting on the freaking desk waiting for you. That's a bar. They know you.
Well, I won't say I'm one upping you. The strip club that I went to every weekend was a private strip club. They gave me a lifetime membership. When I walked in, if you go in there and start a tab, you got to give them a credit card number and all that. You know, credit card, let them run it. So in case you walk out and forget to pay or whatever. I would walk in and the bartender would have the beer sitting on the table. I mean, on the bar as I walked up. They just automatically started a tab for me. I didn't have to show them shit. They was just like, here you go. And then the strippers would tell me about their, problems they're having with their dog or apartment or car. And I was like, y'all really killing the damn purpose of me being here.
So you turned into their, you were so frequent, you turned into their counselor.
Yeah, I was their counselor. That's what it was. It's like, yeah, this is kind of wearing down. It's all good, though. It's all fun.
I think in my whole entire life, I've been to a strip bar 3, maybe 4 times. It just, I hate saying it like this, but for all you clean strippers out there, this is not directed to you. This is directed to the people that live in my area. Most of them are nasty. You don't want to get close to them, and they've got heroin problems, drug problems, and it's like, nope. You stay up there, stay away from me, don't touch me, I'll watch. And it's that bad.
Well, like I said, the one I went to was private, and so you had to be a member and and it was a really nice place. It was. I just went there to drink beer and look at boobs. I admit it. I'm not a saint. I never said I was.
All right. TR, at the next Farmageddon, we have to stay sober enough to take Bobby to a strip bar.
Okay.
He's never been to one.
We'll have to figure something out. Because in that area where the farm's at, if there's a strip club there, they may only have 1 or 2 teeth.
Sign me up to go.
I'm not saying it's a bad part of the country. I'm just saying there ain't nothing there. We could pick up some chick at Dollar General and convince her to do a lap dance for him. Maybe. I don't know.
Don't be cheap now.
There's a 30-pack of Natty Ice in this for you.
How much is the strip? How much is a lap dance? Everything's $1.
That was actually the best time I ever went to a strip club where I didn't have to pay a goddamn thing. The one guy I worked with, this was before I got into law enforcement, he was going through a divorce, and I worked at a hospital. I was the head of security for a while, and he was going through a divorce, and he paid for everything. I mean, everything. I was like, damn, hey, you're paying. I'm doing it. That was the only time that the I don't know, whoever the featured, quote unquote stripper was, she was on the Playboy channel like 2 weeks from the date we were there. I don't remember her name or anything. Christ, I was 19, I think. But sure as shit, he because he was going through the divorce, he got the subscription to the Playboy channel. He recorded it and then gave me the video to watch. I'm like, holy shit, she was actually on Playboy. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, some of the guys I was hanging out with, there was one night. I'm sorry, everybody, if we went to a south turn on this, but anyway,
we were in the deep end.
Yeah, I was with this businessman. Well, we knew him and stuff, and anyway, and he was trying to talk to this girl, and this was at the strip club, and he just like gave me a $100 or $200, just here, because this other girl was trying to talk to him or whatever, get dances, scam them out of some money, basically. I'm sorry. It's not a scam. It's not a scam. You know what you're doing when you walk in the door. But anyway, he's like, why don't you get this girl, go buy some dances from her? And he just like handed me a couple $100. And I was like, okay.
Yep. When you don't have to pay for it, it's so much better.
Yeah. It's like, okay, yeah, do a table dance. Not degrading women. That's what they're there for. I understand the whole process, backwards and forwards, in and out. I got no disrespect for strippers. I think it's if I could strip and make a damn living at it, I'd do that. Fuck climbing on machines and working, getting dirty.
Yeah, think of how many attorneys, doctors, and everybody else has, funded their way through college doing that shit.
Yeah, they're all going to college. Well, not all of them. Some of them are pretty upfront about what they're doing. They know what's going on.
No, there's especially around here, they're stripping to fund their heroin problem for the next 3 days.
Now, I've been in a few of those. I drank a beer or half a beer and said, okay, I'm done. No. All right. Well, what else interesting in can we talk about?
Oh, one thing I do want to bring up. Hey, buddy, what are you doing? What are you doing? Anyway, the asshole oxygen thief that shot the police officer just south of me, he was taken into custody. I'm not turning this into a race thing, but I'm going to be interested to see how the media spins this. A white cop was shot by a black man. The black man was taken into custody by a bunch of white cops, and he didn't even have a black eye, a fat lip, or nothing. I'm waiting to see how they spin this, that somehow his rights were violated and he was afraid to turn himself in. But the one good thing is they charged this cop killer's mother, girlfriend, like a couple cousins, everybody that had anything to do with him from the time of the shooting till the time they took him into custody. They charged them with hindering apprehension and all that other stuff. So
fuck them too,
Yep. Every one of them, max penalty. And that's not just for a cop killer. That's for anybody that kills anybody. If you help that person out, you are freaking, you know, you're hooked up for the maximum time. There's no probation. There's none of this. You're hooked and you're sent.
You're fucked.
Yep. So that was about the only good thing that I saw. And then the other thing with, I think on Sunday I mentioned the Border Patrol agent that was killed. It was in Texas, but the report finally came out that him and his partner were ambushed, and they don't know how many people they were ambushed by. They don't have any information other than these individuals basically ambushed the Border Patrol agents, which were two, and bludgeoned them with rocks and whatever else. There were no firearms involved from what I can tell, but it was just blunt force trauma. So
terrible.
Yep, let's let them in. Let them in. They're all good.
No, let's not.
Blue, have you heard the latest on that? That there was some kind of internal email sent out, memo, whatever, and they're saying that, well, maybe they just fell. And I was like, me and the guys at work were like, okay, two guys tripped and fell. One of them died. One of them's in, evidently he must be in pretty bad shape because they can't talk to him, I'm assuming, because they're treating it like, well, we don't know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
One of them lives, so evidently he's in intensive care or something like that. I don't know. Is he in a coma? I don't know. But it's like, what? They're in Texas. Did they fall off some cliff, a ravine? I mean, all of a sudden these two guys, one of them died, another one's seriously hurt, and you're saying, well, maybe they fell?
Mm-hmm.
Really? I don't buy it. Where did that come from?
Yeah, I have not heard that one yet.
I heard that today. Yeah, so that's fairly new coming out. It's stupid. It's like, what?
Yeah, that's, and you know, it's not that it's, you know, a criminal versus a police officer or anything like that. I've been very forward with this on these chats. If you kill somebody, you die. You should die. You know, the whole fucking thing with Charles Manson just dying at the age of 80, whatever the fuck. He was in prison for 4 decades. That's 40 years at a, let's just say, a ballpark cost for California prison system. While he was healthy, let's just say it's $87,000 to $90,000 per year for a healthy prisoner. Rosie, I don't know if you can fact check me on this.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot. And with his health problems, they spent a fortune on him.
Yeah. Well, he was healthy. It was probably what, 90 grand a year. And then once he started getting into
probably 150 grand a year, something like that, because he always special escorts, and everywhere he ever went had to be handled special, and all the appeals and all the legal counsel that the taxpayers pay for. And, it's just unbelievable.
You know what? We as a fucking nation could save a lot of money. And that's all I'm going to say.
No. Hold on, Blue. If you're gonna start saying that stuff, man, just fucking say it how it is. Because we could save a hell of a lot of money. There is so much money wasted on all these assholes that fucking spend years upon years upon years sitting in fucking jail, and all these guys that have to sit there and babysit their ass. It's just bullshit. And we're all fucking paying for it. Mm-hmm. Every one of us.
All right, Matt, I know I've told this before. I want to tell it again just in case, because we probably got some new people. My dad had the best idea, and this was a decade or two ago. He said what they should do for people that get the death penalty is sell lottery tickets to be on the firing line. And it wouldn't cost the government a dime. They would actually make money because they could sell lottery tickets for people to be on the firing line to execute people. And you know what? he had a good idea because people would
I'm not
line
trying to be
up to
funny,
buy
but
those tickets.
they'd actually probably make more money doing that than they make on taxes.
Yeah, hey, I shit you not.
Mhm.
And I was like, you know what, Dad? That's a pretty good idea because people. I know it sounds sick or whatever, but if you got a serial rapist, killer, whatever, he needs to be put down. And they're like, well, it costs so much. No, fuck that. We need to do public hangings. We need to do firing squads.
I'll say this: when it comes to like a rapist and all that bullshit, the family of the person that got fucking raped or the person that got raped themselves should be the one allowed to fucking fuck that person up however the fuck they want.
Yeah.
How about those goofballs at UCLA that got caught shoplifting in China and stuff?
Yeah.
What a great representation of America that was over there. Those kind of goofballs, and everybody's pissed at Trump because Trump said he should have left them there.
Yeah. No appreciation. I mean, because they don't realize it's almost like since they got let out, it's like, well, what's the big deal? And it's like, dude, your ass should have been in prison. I'm not saying you should have been, but if something wasn't done by our government, and you know as well as I do, Trump had something to do with it, or it wouldn't have happened, your ass would be rotting in prison. And Chinese prison, Korean prison, Mexican prison, Venezuela prison ain't the same as America. You're not watching cable TV and working out.
Wait a minute. They don't get iPads?
No, I'm pretty sure they don't get those.
Hold on. They don't have fucking fires and shit in their own little fucking stalls where they can, they got wood fires and all that good shit.
I'm pretty sure they don't. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Man, that's some fucked up shit right there if they don't get that, man.
You probably get a hole in the floor to use the bathroom. Well, that is your bathroom, a hole in the floor. And they may or may not give you a blanket, and you're going to eat rice the rest of your life.
Yeah, you'll think twice before you do it. Having spent 5 years in China, I can tell you it's not a pretty sight.
Yeah, the protein will be the bugs in the rice.
You were
I was going to say, you can get protein on all the bugs that are there. There's a lot of bugs.
Rosie, I need you to specify, were you in jail in China or were you just in China?
No, working over in that.
You scared me there.
I have spent a night in jail, but it wasn't in China. So I'll leave that little teaser out there. So.
Speaking of which, this is the biggest bullshit. All right, let's say, since Rosie, you said you spent one night in jail, right?
Yep.
Okay, let's just say you, me, TR, Scotsman, anybody out here on the panel, you get a traffic ticket. You're making payments on it. You forget to make a payment or you're a little low. There are a lot of places that if you get picked up at the wrong time for a traffic infraction, you get thrown in with murderers, rapists, and everybody else until you can fucking see a judge. That is bullshit. I agree with paying your fines. You did whatever, you pay for it. But holy shit.
Yeah,
I agree 100%, man. I've seen some crazy stuff over the years doing what I do, and I've heard of a lot of different things, but I've seen people that have got pulled over, just like you said, minor traffic violations, and they forget to pay something or something happens, and they get thrown in with drug dealers, you freaking name it, rapists, murderers, the whole 9 yards, and these guys are in there, and they're fucking shitting their pants because they're dealing with these guys that they shouldn't even be freaking close to whatsoever.
No.
With a very colorful crew, didn't have too much problem. I'm just saying, you don't want to be in there, and the Friday night lockups you got to wait till Monday to see the commissioner and stuff. So yeah, let that be a lesson to you guys. Okay.
All right, Rosie, I'm gonna call you out. You got to tell us the story of how you ended up in jail. You got to. You can't lead us into it and just let us hang.
They don't want to hear that on the side chat. They don't want to hear that.
No, you just got called out. You got to spell. Let's go. Rock and roll.
All right, everybody in the side chat, if you want to hear why Rosie ended up in prison, type in "I want to know."
No, I can't. I'm not going to go into all that. We'll do it on private chat. So.
If we get 10 or more comments, she has to say why.
No, it wasn't for a hate crime. No.
I'm leaning towards some kind of indecent exposure or something. Nope. Oh, okay.
Okay, we got 1. We got 2. Come on, there's 3. There's 4. There's 5. 6.
They're flooding the side.
7. 8. 2 more.
There you go. White girl probably got DUI. There you go, Stacy. But I was found not guilty because I wasn't driving at that time. So, but
all right. Well, there's enough folks out there, so you need to explain the entire situation. So what happened?
We had been drinking, but I don't drink and drive, and somebody else was driving, and we stopped at a gas station to get gas, and this person went in to get a pack of smokes and whatever, and I got out to stretch my legs, and then the cop just rolls up behind us, and I see we've been kind of up the road a little bit, and I'm like, I'm not driving, and the cop's like, how do I know that? So the other person comes out and denied driving, and it just got real ugly, so we both got taken in overnight.
When in doubt, take them both.
Yeah, take them both. The guy's like, if y'all can't get your shit straight, I could go to a place we can get it all straightened out real good. So, and I was in some tough. It was Baltimore City jail, downtown on a Friday night over to Saturday, and let me tell you. Ghetto tough, baby.
Well, I'm glad you got out of it.
Yeah, I got out of it. The judge just threw it out of court immediately when it.
Well, no offense, Blue, but if they didn't catch somebody driving the car, we've been here all night.
Yep. Yeah, I'm just going to assume that it was you. Oh wait, you had somebody else. Well, I'm going to assume it was you as well. So we're going to take both of you.
Yeah, y'all can't get it straight.
Fuck it, why not, right?
Neither of you gonna be driving now, so that's it.
Which I'm not gonna lie, I have arrested 2 people for a DUI out of a single car.
Yeah, you have the right to remain silent and go in there and get all groped and all removed of all your purse and keys and everything.
Yeah, just a public service announcement. If your significant other is driving the car and they're drunk as shit, and then you're also a little bit buzzed, at the red light, don't do a Chinese fire drill or slide across the seat because, we can arrest both of you. That's only happened once in 17 years, but that was the fastest 2 DUIs I've ever gotten.
Well, it's like you guys say, it's ugly. You don't want to be spending any time in a lockup because it was people that had gotten in terrible fights and druggies and guys smashed somebody to pieces with a baseball bat and psychos in there. I mean, it was tough. So, no, I didn't ask for a second pat down.
Yes, you did, liar. You may have missed something.
Are you concealing something? No, I don't know.
I swear to God.
Y'all be good.
Rosie's like, I swear to God, I've got a gun underneath my breasts. They search, and she's like,
well, the problem for Rosie is it's, officer, I swear I'm not concealing. They're right there. You can't miss them.
That's it. But I'm telling you, Blue's right. You don't want to be in there. You don't want to be in that facility. And Friday night's a bad night to get taken into.
Yeah.
Depending on their load, you may not see a court commissioner until Monday morning.
Mm-hmm. And like in the bigger city, not with us, but with us, basically, if we arrest you to the point where you have to go to jail, you get your own little tiny cell and you're locked in there until you see the judge.
Yeah.
But the big cities, they fucking put you in with chairs with about 50 to 100 other people that have been arrested throughout that night.
With probably about 45 people, and then that holding tank next to it had about 45, and right on down. I mean, it was like crazy.
So let me ask you this, Blue, since you do this as a living. I've heard of various cops pulling people over. They do the basic testing. The particular person passes that part of the test, and they throw out whatever they want as another part of a test. And then when they fail that part, they arrest them.
That's bullshit. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm not saying that does not happen. I've known people that have, let's say, they go to work, and in the morning, let's just say they smoke some weed. They go to work for 8 hours, 10 hours, and on the way home, they get stopped for something, and that smell of weed, that doesn't go away. And end up getting arrested for, they didn't use their blinker, they didn't use this. And at least in our state, any amount of THC is DUI. It doesn't matter how little. And anybody that smokes it or anybody that does the research knows that that's going to stay in your system for quite a while. So there's been plenty of people that haven't smoked for 8-10 hours, and they're probably most likely perfectly okay, because that residual smell's still there. They get waxed.
Hmm.
Wow.
I'll say that straight up. I know it happens.
So just for shits and giggles, since I have heard of this and I've kind of witnessed it, someone gets pulled over, they pass the test, and the cop gets out, and they're like, do this, and blah, blah, blah. They pass all that. Cop turns around and goes, hey, you know what? I need you to say the alphabet backwards, starting in the middle.
Fuck you. You do it first. Now that
I swear to God, I kid you not. I've heard of it. I've seen it. It fucking happened. And I'm just like, dude, are you fucking kidding me?
And Pop's Quest has a pretty good hashtag for a couple reasons, but with what we're talking about, the PBTs that you get along the side of the street, those are not criminal. They're not. Oh, what the fuck's am I looking for?
I had all those tests.
You can't put them into court. They're not evidence. It's just a positive or a false. If you pass a test, I've got nothing to hold you on. I may strongly suggest that we call a ride to come pick you up, because like in PA, a 0.08 is bam. If you get to 0.08, you're in custody. However, if I stop you and you're like, no, I've only had a couple, and you pass the test, I will strongly suggest we get somebody to come pick you up, because if you drive down the road from our encounter and you end up in an accident, even if it's somebody else's fault, that drops down to a 0.02. So one drink, you're screwed.
Wow.
And most people will be like, oh yeah, absolutely. Yep. Give me a call. Let me call somebody, which
they're damn lucky.
We're supposed to be.
Lucky you didn't run them in. That's what, yeah, call somebody. Sure. Yeah. They're happy,
Mm-hmm.
You got to be stupid to continue on after that.
I got to say, Blue, you're probably one of the nicest cops I've ever met.
Yeah. I'd say.
I know I've said this before, but I wish that I had a running tally of how many people that I've stopped and actually given a ticket to, that at the end of it are like, hey, thank you. I'll do what I can to make sure I slow down. I'm not these cops that go out, and you guys are assholes, that fucking ream somebody for speeding, ream somebody for blowing a red light. Oh, you could have killed somebody. You could have. They know that. That person knows they could have done that. Why fucking belittle them? This is what you did. This is your ticket. If you want to fight it.
My cop was like, under different circumstances, we might have met differently. I'm like, let me think about that for a minute. You're like, what? You know, weird. Officer Green. Y'all be good out there.
Yeah, I've only had a couple of bad encounters with police officers. Most of the encounters I've had with the police have been positive, actually. So I get, you know, South, not a huge town. The town is very small, actually, but I'd say the worst experience I had was in Greenville, which is still a small town for America, but biggest county in South Carolina. So, but even then, they never even checked my ID. You know, I had enough wits about me that I kind of fucked with them a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I see a couple of people out there saying they outrun some cops. But the only time I've ever done something like that was when I drove through Texas. I drove through Texas at 110 miles an hour. And in Texas, if you are going over X amount of miles an hour, they cannot legally pull you over because they cannot legally chase you because they're only allowed to go to a certain degree. And if you're going past that, they can't touch you. And so literally because I was going over such a speed limit, doing 110, they were not allowed to actually touch me. And I actually went past over five or six different cops. And every single one of them just let me go right on by.
You don't put down strips on the street that tear your tires up or anything like that?
No. If you're actually legally on their highways, if you are going, I think it's like over 95, they cannot legally pull you over.
Well, back in the 80s, and of course 70s and before, yeah, you could shake a cop. Well, at least where I'm at, because they just wasn't that many people here, and wasn't that many whatever. You know, not saying I'd done it a lot or nothing like that, but you know, maybe once or twice, just like pass a cop and know that I was well over the speed limit. And they probably never even turned around. It was just like, oh shit, let me take this side street. Let me take that side street. Just, you know, just before he turned around and caught up to see where you turned. I mean, other than that, I ain't tried to outrun a cop.
I can tell you, I've actually been pulled over more times for going 2 or 3 miles an hour over the speed limit versus going 10 or 20 miles an hour over the speed limit.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I got pulled over. States like Illinois and Michigan and those types of states. Anytime I've gone through those, the minute you even just barely go over, they'll pull you over.
Yeah.
And they will hold you there and they will question you over and over and over and over again. The guy kept me on the road for 45 minutes. You're like, you know, you have guns in the car? Yes, sir, I got guns. Are they loaded? No, sir, they're not loaded. Do you have the right to own them? Absolutely, I do. Why you got all this stuff in the back of your truck? Well, sir, I got a promotion. I'm moving. I'm going here, blah, blah, blah. And just kept asking me the same questions over and over and over and over. Finally, I'm just kind of like, dude, can I leave? Can I go?
Yeah, well, yeah. Things changed. But yeah, back in the 80s, we had a lot of fun on the streets. You could buy muscle cars for $800 all day long. Me and my buddies I was a Mustang guy, so I had Mustangs. Had a really good friend of mine in high school. He was a Mopar guy, so literally they had Dodge Chargers, Challengers, Cudas, you name it. I mean, you know, like 1969, 70 Road Runners and shit. And we were fucking blistering the streets. We was road racing. We was racing all the time. I raced in downtown Greenville, doing 80, 90 miles an hour through downtown. It's like, yeah, there's 3 cops here. So there's more than that, I'm sure. But it was almost a red light to red light kind of shit,
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, if I had to do it all over again, I wish I'd have. I know there's a lot of, well, hell, hindsight's 2020, but all those damn muscle cars back when I was growing up, I should have bought every damn one of them and put them up, and I'd have a fortune right now.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, you would, man. I mean, hell, if I could, there's a couple of different muscle cars I'd love to have. Right off the top of my head, 1971 Chevelle SS,
Yeah.
450 big block.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, you could buy like a 1970 Roadrunner for $800 all day long in the mid 80s. All day long. Nobody wanted them. Nobody gave a shit about them. You could buy, my buddy, he had Dodge Challengers, Barracudas. He had not a Super B one time. Not a Daytona or whatever, but it was just a Super B Coronet that's had a 440 in it, 4-speed in the floor, fucking $800 all day long. Yeah, every car we had needed a paint job, but they had a badass fucking motor in it and a stereo.
That's it. Get the important shit.
Yeah, fuck looks. We want some good sounds and speed. Put all your money in go, not show. And that's what we done. It was half primered and shit like that. Yeah. I mean, you buy, like a '69 RT Camaro for $1,000 in like super nice shape. They was giving that shit away back then because nobody wanted them. It was right after the Carter mess and the economy was all as shit, and we was trying to recover. Had Reagan in, and old muscle cars. Hell, nobody gave a shit about them.
Well, I got to remember that fuel prices went up dramatically, so a lot of that stuff got scrapped out. Nobody wanted those vehicles. They were big burners of gasoline and stuff, so everybody was getting rid of that.
Yep, Bobby's asking if you had chains. Yeah, seriously, I had literally, most of us had a chain holding the motor down. You chain to one side, whichever way the motor torques, which that way usually, and you chain the fucking motor to the frame because you're ripping motor mounts out left and right. I mean, we were slamming big ass cams, carburetors. I was a hot rodder. We go to drag strip about once a month, do grudge races and shit. Good. Most time we didn't really even do that because we just done it on the street. Good times. And of course, we all seen Smokey and the Bandit, so fuck, that's just what you do. All right, we're going all over the place. What's next? Fast Forward says he had a horse and buggy. Yeah, I think most of the audience is probably in our generation or thereabouts, one way or another, and remembers going to drive-throughs and
Oh yeah, driving movies.
cruising Maine and racing on the street, all that good shit. Survival of the fittest. They wouldn't have fucking helmets and elbow pads and shit when you rode a bicycle. If you wrecked, you fucking got fucked up. That's just the way it was. You don't wreck again after that.
Yeah, there was none of that shit back home either for me, dude. It was you literally wrecked, you got fucked up, and that was it. Period. Stand up, man the fuck up, get back on your damn bike, and keep on going.
Yeah, Baldwin carries raced his Russian car with a 1.6 liter engine in it. We make motorcycles in America with bigger motors than that now. I'm sorry, I'm just reading comments. All right, what else do we need to talk about? We're jumping all over the place. We got to pick something even weirder. I don't know.
Well, hell, Blue's been gone for a minute. Blue, what else you got, dude?
Nothing. Going hunting.
There you go.
Monday, first day of rifle. Hell yes. Get to take my 8-year-old out. He's going to get to blast something, I hope. And I will have cameras up, so hopefully we get something on that.
Okay, we'll talk about hunting for a minute. Do you have a limit per year you can harvest?
Yeah. Our in the area of PA I'm in, you get 1 buck and 1 antlerless, but you can apply for a bonus tag for 2 antler. You can get up to 3, but the area I hunt in, they only have you get 1 each. That's it.
Let me ask you this, Blue. Like where I'm at, if you go to different counties, you can apply for a permit in that county or a tag in that county. Is it the same where you're at?
No, you can only apply for well, the most deer you can get is 3. That's a buck and 2 antlerless. But you have to be sure to get the bonus tag, which if a lot of people hunt in the area that you're in, you're not going to get a bonus tag. So you get 2. You could apply for a different county, but it's not really worth it.
Because where I'm at, here in Ohio, I mean, if I had the time, I could easily get 6.
Damn.
Just because if I traveled from county to county, easily I could get 6. But that's just if I had the time, and I don't have any time. But bouncing around, yeah, you can go from different counties and apply for different tags in those counties, and usually you're all right.
Nope. Ours is that's like I see some people, I don't even remember what state it's in, but they're allowed to get like 3 deer per day for like a week. It's like, holy shit. Where do you live that the deer population is that overwhelming?
If I'm not mistaken, I won't say it's the most. I think South Carolina has the most generous deer hunting specs, or not specs, but regulations. Yeah, there's deer every fucking where here. I won't say they're huge.
I don't know if you guys have it in your state, but you can also apply for a nuisance permit if they're on your property.
You don't even have to apply for a permit if you got a farm.
Yeah, that's the way it is here. Well, I don't want to say you don't have to apply for a permit, but at the farm, if it was to the point where the father-in-law was losing so much crops per year, then basically he shoots, he calls the game commission, and then they decide whether they take it or leave it. But you still have to report the kill.
Yeah, I believe if you get the nuisance permit, then it's pretty much yours no matter what.
And well, I know this only because I looked it up in South Carolina. If you have predators or nuisance animals, you ain't got to apply for a fucking permit. You ain't got to do shit. If it's eating your crops, if it's killing your chickens, if it's going after your cows, say coyotes or whatever, you ain't got to do shit. You just kill them. Period. Now, you can't sell the fur. You can't do anything like that. But if it's like you got a cornfield or whatever it is and the deer are eating your fucking crops, you can kill them. You don't have to have a hunting permit. You don't have to have none of that. Now you can harvest it yourself, but probably not take it to a processor. But you could harvest it yourself. The deer or whatever, if it's eating your crops. But like foxes, possums, coons going after my chickens, I've slaughtered a shitload of animals. But I did look up the laws. I'm legal, And I didn't harvest any of them. I just throw them in the woods. I'm not sure how good fucking fox tastes, but I'm pretty sure that's a dog, so I'm not eating it.
By the time you would have in processing it versus the meat outtake, you're probably better off.
Yeah, they weigh like 15 pounds. Get more meat off the coons, probably.
Now I am super freaking stoked because my boy went out with me last year, which I put the videos up where he fell asleep in the stand and we had a bear walk up on us, and he actually woke up whenever I shot that little tiny dog looking deer. It was the smallest deer I've ever shot, but he was in the stand with me, and I just wanted to get him interested in it, and it was like, all right, I'm gonna shoot this son of a bitch. And then I was like, I really didn't want to, but I'm just hoping he gets to shoot something and he actually takes one down, because we talked about it the last chat a little bit with not training with guns, but well, actually that's what it was training with guns. And if you wait too long to actually get the kill, or go fishing and you take too long to actually get them actually fishing, that type of thing, it's I hope that I really, really hope he takes something down or gets a shot off. I think that'd be cool. Even if he misses, it's the experience.
Yeah, he at least gets a shot off. Hell, I mean, even here with as many deer as we have here, I mean, you could be out there hunting for a couple of days and not see a deer, because they get pretty smart. They know not to come out. They're nocturnal as hell.
Yeah, they are damn smart. So I was back a couple of years back before I came back to Ohio. When I was first in Ohio, I actually had opportunities to get out and hunt. And I kid you not, every day I went out and hunted, didn't see a goddamn thing. Freaking snow all over the ground, tracks everywhere, didn't see a damn deer. The day fucking season ended, the very next day, I kid you not, I go out, I'm in my car, driving down the frickin' street, and I shit you not, I look to my right and there's probably 60 fucking deer in the field. I'm just kind of like, you fucking assholes. When season ends and you sons of a bitches just all came up.
Yeah, I know that road Sonya lives on. Not every day, but probably 50% of the time, depends on when I'm leaving or going or whatever. I had to stop in the middle of the road and let turkeys pass.
Yeah, we have to do that out here. Yeah.
I guess I don't have to, but I'm not just going to run over them for no damn reason, And the other day, there was a bunch of guineas out there. We have a lot of wild guineas here.
They're good eating.
Yeah. Guinea fowl is I won't say a delicacy, but it's definitely a bird ate in Europe a lot, from what I understand when I was raising some myself. And these were probably somebody's, I don't know, because one of them was white. And I don't usually see a white guinea in the wild. Usually they're all gray or purple. Sometimes I think they might be technically purple, but whatever. And one of them just kept running in front of my truck. It took me like 3 or 4 minutes to get by them. I was like, get out of the way. I don't want to run over you.
Yeah. You saw my fishing crabbing trip, TR.
Yeah, I know. I got to check those out. Yeah.
Yeah, we got the limit on crabs, 10 big ass 3-pound crabs each, and 10 nice codfish. Real nice. And we saw a great white shark attack a sea lion.
I did watch one of them.
Watched the one on the crabbing when we were pulling in the crab.
Yeah, I think the crabbing. It was pulling up the crabs.
He was the fish. Remember, he was filleting that fish like so damn fast on that power filleting.
Yeah, I had a guy show me how to fillet fish like that, and
yeah, you told me.
Yeah, that is the way to do it. You start with a full fish. You don't even gut it. You just fillet it out, and it's like a real skinny fish. You flop that skin back over, and it's just like a real skinny fish.
Good times.
All right, next subject. We got about 10, 15 minutes here. About 15, maybe. We've been in your mouth in New York.
Yeah, we've been so far all over the board. It's like, holy shit, where do we go from here?
Well, fuck it. Why don't we ask the side chat?
What's the next subject, side chat?
Let's get some questions. Let's get some questions rocking and rolling for the panel.
Uh-oh.
Chupacabra. That is a mythical beast that actually technically does not exist. A goat sucker, I think they call it, but now all we're seeing is dogs and or coyotes with mange. That is my official stance on Chupacabra.
Yeah.
Thanks, Pop. Yeah, ZPD. I grew up in Baltimore. We'd be out on Chesapeake Bay crabbing and stuff.
And mustard. Okay. Yankee 4 says, Bald and Curious gun check. Okay.
Well, Baldy, just for you, dude. 19,357.
Yeah, I'm putting up a shotgun shopping video tomorrow. So check it out.
Ruger GP 100, Glock 17. How about that?
Daisy slingshot. I don't know what it is.
Gun check fail.
If the slingshot fails, we got the Glock 20.
Fucking Glocks.
Just in case. Just in case I miss them with the fucking slingshot.
Like our Berettas.
That's right. Beretta or fucking CZ. Fuck Glocks.
Oh, I got a Beretta too. I'm just required to carry a Glock.
I like that metal in my hand.
What motion was that? It didn't look like a gun motion.
You're not even drinking tonight either. So.
Blue, behave.
I am.
Oh shit!
But that did not look like a.
I've never Beretta made shotguns before, and Linda Francine said they make a shotgun.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they make plenty. There's all kinds. 1301 competition and over-unders, you name it. They make plenty.
Cool.
Yankee 4 asked if earlier, well, just a few minutes ago, if I was still prepping. Prepping for me, you know, maybe I misnamed my channel. I don't know. I mean, once you put back so much shit, eventually you have to rotate some of the stock. But once you put back so much stuff, you're kind of done. That's why I don't really do prepping videos, because it's like I got a bunch of stuff put back. I don't need to really build on it anymore. You know, I'm done. You know, like I say, I do need to rotate some stock on some canned goods, but I got shit put back. You know, I'm kind of burnt out on that. You know, how many hundreds of pounds of damn rice and beans and canned goods do you need? And then you're like, okay, I'm good.
Mm-hmm. And that's, I think that's the one bad thing about YouTube is your older videos don't circulate back to the top, like the water treatment systems, that type of thing. The things that people are interested in, you know, they see your latest videos, which are not prepping anymore. It's like, well, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know, you can always trim your old ones a little bit on each end and re-upload them again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on vacation for a few days, so I'm putting up some stuff from some trips from 2015, some yucks and stuff, and I guarantee it'll get much more this time around than the first time. Do it, put it up.
I just keep putting my older videos up on VidMe.
There you go.
I don't know if it's going to do anything or not, but you know, that's all the videos that are like a year and a half old or prior, I'm putting on there, other than like the, you know, the VRs and that type of shit. You know, is it going to work out? Who knows? But it's a backup just in case.
Yeah, here's a good question. The Redneck Prepper has. What about an update on your solar, TR?
Yeah, I need to do that. Right now, I actually have it disabled. I probably need to do that, and I may do that pretty soon, because lightning hit, I'm assuming a solar panel or a solar panel array. It blew out both my charge controllers. I had to send those off, and I hadn't done any videos on any of that. And I don't know, maybe it popped some diodes in the solar panels, but they were actually, my charger was kicking on, charging my batteries more than the solar panels. And I finally, just here last week, I finally was like, well, this just ain't working anymore. So I disconnected every fucking battery, turned everything off, and I got to go through it and figure out what the problem is, if it's just a battery shorted out or whatever it is. But yeah, the solar panel right now is that I got it all turned off because it was just not working anymore. And that's a shame. I mean, I got, you know, about $6,000 or $7,000 invested in that, and it went to shit from a storm. So you can go green all you want, but it can bite you in the ass too.
Now, does homeowners insurance cover that? Like under a lightning strike, would that cover the equipment?
I don't know.
Because I'm pretty sure if I had $7,000, you know, dedicated to off grid and a lightning strike hit it, I would hope that would be covered by my insurance. That's actually something people should probably look into.
Yeah, probably should have to look into that, but I don't know. I would have to. I probably have to call me.
No.
Yeah, now you owe something. Now you owe Blue something nice for Christmas now.
Yeah.
Well, I know a lot of insurance companies do not cover anything that relates to a natural disaster.
See, that's where that's weird, because my insurance company, if a natural disaster, tornado goes through, or a tree falls on my house because of a wind gust, not because I have Rick out here, you know, chopping down trees, but something that I had nothing to do with, my deductible is cheaper than if I did something stupid and caught my house on fire.
Yeah, maybe this weekend. I'll do a little update on that.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the same in every state, but I know that in some, like with the lightning strikes and that, not all insurance companies cover lightning strikes.
Yeah. And it didn't really damage the house. It was only my auxiliary power, so I don't know how they would view that.
Yeah, so don't worry. You can't.
It was grounded. It blew out both my midnight solar charge controllers. I sent them back. No, I'm good, Blue. But I sent them back to Midnight Solar, and they fixed them for both of them for around $150. And considering they're, hell, I forget what they cost now, but around 150, 200 a piece, it was still cheap. You know, it wasn't too bad to get them both fixed. I want to say it was $130, and I got both of them repaired. So they were really good about repairing those, but I haven't individually checked all my panels because there's a diode in every solar panel. If that diode pops or goes bad, like at night, it'll suck the energy out of your batteries. And I think that's what's going on. So I think I got a diode that popped in one or more of my panels. And I think that's the problem. I just hadn't got around to checking them. Yeah, $100 for $100 for the lightning arrestor Yankee. Yeah, I know what you look. Yeah, but it's $100. That's $100 for a lightning arrestor is like buying insurance. It's $100. What if, you know? And I sent two of them off and got them fixed for $130. So how many lightning arrestors would I have to buy that may not ever be used? So I don't spend money on shit like that. As far as solar, I'm not spending extra money for what if, because it's all a fucking experiment anyway. Nobody sponsors me. Nobody buys that shit. Everybody of that shit comes out of my fucking pocket.
Like Redneck said, you're not going to titty bars now, so
yeah.
Plenty of.
I mean, I could hook it up right now, and on a sunny day, it still charges and stuff. It ain't like it's unusable. It's just I got a problem.
It's one of those times you got too much money in your bank, so it's booze and broads. Just there, you're all set.
Yeah, I'm not like them channels that get people to buy them fucking batteries and solar panels and reloading equipment and all that. All that shit comes right out of my fucking pocket. So anything I spend is I have to want to do it. And if I don't want to do it, fuck it, it ain't getting done. And where I live, I've said it many, many times on my channel chats or whatever, I got too much shade. Solar is not an option for me. Water is not an option for me. Fucking wind power is not an option for me. Solar is like at least I get something out of it, but I just live on the wrong side of a fucking hill. Yeah, Yankee, yeah, but are you going to pay for them? That's the bottom line. It comes out of my fucking pocket. Because you know what happens right now? I got it turned off. It don't cost me a fucking dime to turn it off or turn it on. But if I want to buy more equipment, like I said, I'm $7,000 and it's not really working out for me. I'm not spending another fucking dime on that shit.
And just so people understand, TR, I've been with your channel and I understand what you're going through with how much money you've put into it versus what you've gotten. Maybe explain to people, you know, the room you're in, if it hits a fan, is lit and you have a couple lights for $7,000.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that was about the most benefit I've got out of it. I've actually done these chats with no power. I had this room lit up. I've had my computer powered up. But even with that, I'm running off battery power. I got $1,600 or $1,800 worth of batteries, just batteries. And, you know, I could go a day. But I better have some sunny days after that to recharge those batteries, because I live in the fucking woods and they just don't automatically recharge the next day. You know, I mean, I have very limited sunlight. I'm on the wrong side of a hill. Somebody's squeezing the dog.
Let me just mute my.
No, you're fine. I was just playing. It just really hasn't been cost effective to me. You know what's been the most cost effective thing I've done saving money on power is going to LED lights. I live alone, so that helps a lot. I don't have a heat pump. That thing went out, and I invested into a wood stove. I heat my house with a wood stove. Sometimes I use a kerosene heater to, if it's a really cold winter, to help offset that. I literally walk through my house with a flashlight. I don't leave any lights on. I got like one light I leave on in the middle of the house. I don't have night lights. If I'm not in that room, there's no light in it. And so when I go to bed, like tonight after this chat, when I turn the lights off on this room, I will use a flashlight to get to my bedroom. I don't use lights. I don't hardly cook that much. When I do, it's just a little casserole, and I'll eat on that for 2 or 3 days. How you save money on your house is very efficient lighting and just being very, very conscious of what power you use. And if you don't need it on, unplug it. Don't even leave it plugged in. I mean, my TV and a few things that are plugged in, but there's some stuff that when I'm not using it, I don't even leave it plugged in because it's always sucking a little power. I don't care if it's a milliamp.
What's your electric bill run a month?
About $50 a month.
You gotta be shitting me.
Yeah. I'm like 50. That's what I pay, about 50, and I'm running every fucking thing.
Wow. Yeah, I'm fucked.
But I don't have kids. I don't have a wife.
Hold on. Just out of curiosity, Blue, what do you pay a month?
Okay, my house is all electric except for I've got one little ventless gas heater, which I finally decided to get cleaned up and turn on this year in the summer with a pool pump running, with an air conditioner running at times. My bill is $250.
Holy shit.
In the winter time, it's $450. But this year I'm using natural gas to supplement, so hopefully that goes down.
Damn, dude. My average bill is about $30 to $50 a month. If I use the heat, maybe $60 a month.
Yeah.
Yep, that's the bad thing.
$40-50 a month for electric and $20 for gas. Of course, we don't use AC in summertime here. We don't really need it. Wintertime, it'll be about $110 a month for gas, heat, and electric.
But I mean, my house is all electric. The hot water tank is electric. The dryer is electric. Baseboard heating. I mean, everything is electric. The only gas thing I have, like I said, is that one little tiny ventless heater, which I've started finally using. So hopefully that's going to help defer some of the cost.
Yeah, baseboard heating is pretty expensive from what I understand. But like I said, now don't get me wrong. If I was still married and having a lady living here, my power bill would be more because it's, as you can see, I got a long sleeve shirt on. I mean, it's a little cool in my house. I heat with a wood heater. I mean, if I'm gone with the days I work 14 hours a day, so that wood heater goes out. So when I walk home at night, like I did tonight, it's cold in my house. You know, and I tried to stir it up and get it started, but I'm sure it didn't take off. I'll have to stoke it up and get it back going before I go to bed tonight so I can get a little bit more heat in the house. I mean, I've done things to cut my bill down that the solar really didn't help. I mean, it really didn't cut my, and I know that because I've cut it off before, and I don't really see that big a difference, because what was powered up off my solar was my computer and the bathroom lights. Well, if I'm not in the bathroom, the light ain't on. That's really all I was powering up with it. Bathroom lights and this room right here, the overhead light and the computer. So that little bit of power, $7,000 investment to run a couple of lights, I will never, ever get that fucking money back. But it was fun. It was interesting. It was a learning experience. I still got it all. I do plan on diagnosing and digging into it and seeing what went wrong, because I mean, it'll last for years. It's not like I can't still use it. It's just right now something was going wrong. Something was draining my batteries down, and I got to figure that out.
See, now TR,
and once I do that, I'll be okay.
You need to do a video on that. You need to do a video on, look, this is how much money I have into it, and this is my solar, this is where I get my sunlight at, and was it worth it for me? Absolutely not. That video would probably be more beneficial to people like me that are on that fence. It's like, man, is it going to save me that much money?
Yeah.
You know, I think that would be a beneficial video. You're going to.
I mean, I'm literally thinking about ripping at least 3 of the panels I got down, and well, I don't know that she wants them, but and thought about taking one of my battery banks, ripping 3 of them down, take a battery. I mean, because I got like almost like 2 systems tied together, and taking it over to Sonia's place and just saying, hey, let's see if it'll work better over here at your house, in case your power goes out. You'll have something. It may be more efficient and work better for you, because it's just not really paying off for me.
And that's another thing. If you do something like that, you should do a video on that too.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, instead of spending money on strippers, I was spending it on solar there for a little while, and I was all in it. I mean, I was like excited about it, and then it just kind of like,
submarine.
This ain't worth a shit. It ain't working.
That's why I really don't want to do the RV and put it on the van, you know, and just burn fossil fuels. That's just me now. So.
It's not that it doesn't work. It's just it's not going to work for everybody. You know, it depends on your location. If you're not getting the sunlight, it sucks. You're investing way more money in it than you're going to get out of it. And you know, and I hate that. I mean, I was really all into it. I mean, I got 2,100 watts worth of power available if I had good sunlight. I mean, that'll power your entire house up. Should. For me, it didn't. I kept thinking, well, okay, I need more panels. I need more panels. And then it finally, you know, after a while, it just hit me. It's like, this is just not paying off. This is not going to work for me. Mm. I got too many trees. I'm in the woods. I'm on the wrong side of a hill. I get 4 hours of sunlight. This shit ain't working.
Yeah, I like what Southern Style said. Imagine what $7,000 worth of strippers would have got you.
Yeah, no shit. I probably could have got laid with $7,000. And I can't do a wind turbine either. I mean, I'd have to have a mast like 150 foot fucking tall to get some wind. I mean, I live in a hole. I live in the woods. I got 5 acres of land, and I got a hole cut out where my house is, and my trees are about 100 foot tall.
Oh, it couldn't be that much to get a license from the FCC or the FAA to put that 150, 200 foot tower up.
Yeah, yeah. I tell you what, if you want to do alternative energy, if you live in a open area, and I've subbed to some people that have solar, they do a lot of solar. Chris, do it yourself solar. I can't think of his name, but a guy in Australia. And they have a wide open space and they get sunlight almost every day, every day. Not every day. If it's cloudy, of course they don't, and it works great for them. But the only way that I know that you could guarantee to get power 24/7 is if you have a river or a creek running through your property, or you have a wide open space. Somebody like me, I don't have a wide open space. I don't have a creek. I can't use wind. You're on the grid. That's your choice, period. For me, I learned that. I learned it in a hard way. And I don't regret doing it because I didn't know. I mean, you don't know until you try it. And I had the means to try it. And I built it up a little bit. It's not like I went and cashed out a check, wrote a check for $7,000 for all my equipment. It took me 4 or 5 years to build that up. Every year I'd spend about $1,000 building it up. And then it was like, okay, I'm done. Go nuclear.
What is that? Since we're kind of talking about power saving, what is that where they drill straight down in your property, and in the summertime it keeps your house cool, in the wintertime it keeps your house warm? What the hell is that?
Geothermal something or another. Yeah.
Is that an actual thing?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. If it goes down so far in the ground, there's a constant temperature, and I'm not saying you're going to like heat your house up to 90 degrees doing that or whatever, but it's not like a heat pump. A heat pump for you, and even for me in South Carolina, a heat pump is not really that efficient, because if it's when it comes to heating, because if the temperature below outside is below freezing, I don't want to get too tight. How a heat pump works is like an air conditioner, and you turn it around backwards, you pump it the different direction. If the temperature outside is below freezing, how a refrigeration unit works is you draw heat from one place and move it somewhere else. If it's below freezing, if it's 32 degrees outside, you're not really going to draw that much heat out of the air because it's already freezing. And what the geothermal does, if you go down lower in the ground, well, that temperature is going to be above freezing, about 50, 60 degrees, whatever. So you can draw some heat out of that and transfer it to your house. That's a whole hell. We could do a 2-hour chat on that, but it would bore everybody to death.
I don't know a lot about it, but what was it? I mean, Christ, it was within the last decade, all this talk about radon.
That was in the 80s and stuff. Yeah.
Was something with drilling into the ground?
That was in your area. Pennsylvania was a real hot spot for radon gas. They had radon test kits and all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
If you live on Earth, you're getting radon gas. It's just a matter of how much you're getting, where you're at. But the geothermal is piped. It's not just drawing the air out of the dirt. It'll be piping in your yard, and like, I don't know how far they go down. Probably not very far. But that temperature of that ground is going to be higher than, if it's 20 degrees outside, you go down 10 foot. Yeah, it may only be 40 degrees or 50 degrees, but it's still warmer than the outside temperature. So they use that air to transfer heat. All the air conditioner or heater does is transfer heat. The heat pump only transfers heat or removes heat. You're just moving it. That's all you're doing.
Yeah, we're gonna have to probably pick up on this topic at the next chat, because I mean, as soon as we mentioned thermo, whatever the hell you guys called it, plus radon, the fucking external just went boom. And I don't know anything about it other than I heard about it. So
I mean, I've just looked into it. I don't know everything there is to know about it, but I understand it because I do have a HVAC background, refrigeration background, and like I say, what technically a heat pump, air conditioner, even air conditioner, all you're doing is moving heat. An AC unit only moves heat. You take the heat out of a room, you move it to the condenser, and you push it outside. A heat pump, you'll turn that pump around. The motor will actually, like, you know, I mean, the heat pump will turn around and run backwards. It'll take the heat from outside and it'll put it in your house. You're not really creating heat or cooling. You're only moving heat. That's all you're doing. You're moving heat. You're moving it out of the house or you're into the house. So if it's below freezing outside, there ain't really no fucking heat out there. So then the electric coils kick on to create heat, and then you move that heat. That's why heat pumps are not really that efficient. Unless you live in Florida or lower part of Georgia or Mississippi or something like that. And they probably do okay there. But even in where I live in South Carolina, heat pumps are not that efficient. If that makes any sense, I don't know. That's why I got a wood stove. All right, 2 hours. Y'all ready to wrap it up?
Sure.
And Blue jumped out. Okay, Scotsman, would you like to do an outro?
Sure. Appreciate you having me on as always. Not a whole lot going on this week. I still owe Blue a video. Blue, I'm sorry, man. It's the wrong fucking time of the year. I have retail, dude. It's fucking Thanksgiving, Black Friday, all that bullshit. Wrong time of the fucking year for me. I still owe you one. I guarantee you I will put that video out as soon as I can. It's just busy time of the year for me. But other than that, appreciate you having me on as always. It was an absolute pleasure to meet you, man. And appreciate it.
Oh, same here, man. The more YouTubers I meet, the happier I am because everybody I've met's been a pleasure, except for that one guy. But, you know, that shit happens. Blue, would you like to do an outro?
Well, we keep talking about, you know, digging into the ground for the thermal air or whatever. We are probably going to have a better chance of finding a treasure than those guys out on Oak Island. That's all I'm going to say about that. I'm addicted to that show. I watch it every week, and it's like, oh, what the hell are they going to find? Oh, my God, they found a rusted piece of chain. It's like, God, why am I wasting so much time watching this? But anyway, everybody out there, have a great Thanksgiving. I'm going to be limited on the Sunday chat and Tuesday chat for next week because I will be hunting all week. So I'll be on for at least an hour or so. But until then, you guys have a great Turkey Day. Good seeing y'all, and we'll catch you next time.
All right. Thanks, man, for coming by. Rosie, would you like to do an outro?
Yeah, don't go yet, Blue. Oak Island. All it is a ship that's straight down in the sand, and as they're going down level after level, they're getting through different holds of the ship. Okay, just imagine a long ship that's just bowed down right in and been buried in the sand. I just solved Oak Island for you right there. Anyway, it's been fun to be on the chat tonight with Scots and Blue. I like to tease Blue, but that's the real deal. That's what they're going to find out that it ultimately is. But TR, thanks for having me on. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. If you want to know, I've been covering the fires in Santa Rosa in the post aftermath of that. You want to see how FEMA really puts people up. I got, we do have press passes now. I have an opportunity to go behind the scenes and tour a trailer and everything. You all might find that interesting to see what is going on there, and the fishing trip that I went on. But have a great Thanksgiving, everybody, and be safe.
Yep. Thanks everybody for coming by. I appreciate it and enjoyed chit chatting. I know we jumped all over the place as usual, sometimes worse than others. We did a pretty good job of jumping around all kind of subjects tonight, and you never know on my chats for sure. And we'll see you Sunday. I'll be back Sunday. I have no plans to cancel Sunday's chat. I should be here, and we'll talk to you then. Later.